Hi, my name is Annie, and welcome to the Walking Word, where we go through the Holy Bible in a year as part of discipling. Today, we're reading from the book of Leviticus, from chapter 6 going forward. Remember, from chapter 1 to chapter 5 of Leviticus, we've been seeing God giving the Israelites the instructions on how the offerings should be brought into the temple, and it continues. Chapter 6, the Daily Holocaust. So those are daily Holocaust, leave alone those special occasions, sin, Thanksgiving, etc. Those also are daily Holocaust. Listen to this. The Lord said to Moses, "Give Aaron and his sons the following command. This is the ritual for holocausts. The holocaust is to remain on the hearth of the altar. All night until next morning, and the fire is to be kept burning on the altar. The priest, clothed in his linen robe and wearing linen drawers on his body, shall take away the ashes to which the fire has reduced the holocaust on the altar, and lay them at the side of the altar. Then, having taken off these garments and put on other garments, he shall carry the ashes to a clean place outside the camp. The fire on the altar is to be kept burning." Okay, so it doesn't run out. It must not go out. Every morning the priest shall put firewood on it. On this he shall lay out the holocaust and burn the fat of the peace offerings. The fire is to be kept burning continuously on the altar. It must not go out. Wow. Can you imagine such an altar where nothing ever goes out? Then we have the daily cereal offering. This is the ritual of the cereal offering. One of Aaron's sons shall first present it before the Lord in front of the altar. Then he shall take it. Then he shall take from it a handful of its fine flour and oil, together with all the frankincense that is on it. And this he shall burn on the altar as its token offering, a sweet smelling oblation to the Lord. The rest of it Aaron and his sons may eat, but it must be eaten in the form of unleavened cakes and in a sacred place. In the court of the meeting tent, they shall eat it there. So the priests were allowed to eat part of those cereal offerings, but not outside of the temple, not outside of the tent of meeting. It had to be inside. Okay? It shall not be baked with leaven. So no yeast, no fermentation, nada. I have given it to them as their portion from my oblations to the Lord. It is most sacred, like the sin offering and the guilt offering. Okay, so this is a very high level offering. Yeah? All the male descendants of Aaron may partake of it as their rightful share in the oblations of the Lord perpetually throughout your generations. Whatever touches the oblations becomes sacred. Because the Lord's hand is on it, yeah? The Lord said to Moses, "This is the offering that Aaron and his sons shall present to the Lord on the day he is anointed. 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour for the for the established cereal offering, half in the morning and half in the evening. It shall be well kneaded and fried in oil and griddled when you bring it. Having broken the offerings into pieces, you shall present it as a sweet smelling oblation to the Lord. Aaron's descendants, who succeeds him as the anointed priest, shall do likewise. This is a perpetual ordinance for the Lord. The whole offering shall be burnt. Every cereal offering of a priest shall be a whole burnt offering. It may not be eaten." Okay. Sin offerings. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons, this is the ritual for sin offerings. At the place where holocausts are slaughtered, there also before the Lord shall the sin offerings be slaughtered. It is most sacred. The priest who presents the sin offering may partake of it. Only the priest who presents the sin offerings can partake of it. But it must be eaten in a sacred place in the court of the meeting tent. Whatever touches its flesh shall become sacred. If any of its blood is spilled on a garment, the stained part must be washed in a sacred place. A clay vessel in which it has been cooked shall therefore be broken. The clay vessel where it was cooked then has to be broken. If it is cooked in a bronze vessel, this shall be scored afterward and rinsed with water. So scored is like when using a scoring detergent, like you're using something paste like to clean something. Yeah. Like how you clean the ceramics in a toilet, you have to use a paste. But no one may partake of any sin offering of which some of the blood has been brought into the meeting tent to make atonement in the sanctuary. Such an offering must be burned up in the fire. So nothing that remains from a sin offering, only the priest who has presented it has the right to eat from it. Can eat from it, not a right, is allowed by God to eat from it. And one thing that uh, stood out for me as we're reading chapter 6 is when it said, "It shall be kneaded or griddled. Having broken the offering into pieces, you shall present it as a sweet smelling oblation to the Lord." And this is just a foreshadow of when Jesus breaks the bread and he's sharing it with his disciples as remembrance for his body. And though whole, he's a whole offering, he's divided himself, he's broken himself into pieces for mankind so that all of us get a piece of him. Um, so I pray that that rests in your spirit. We continue on guilt offerings in chapter 7.